Senior Care on Triad Today. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth. Welcome to another edition of Triad Today. Coming up later on, our infamous Roundtable convenes. There's no telling what those guys are going to say, but we'll get to that later. Between now and then, some great guests coming your way. Chancellor of Winston-Salem State University will be here to update us on their anniversary activities. We'll have a salute to a very successful small businesswoman, keeping suspense on that. And we'll talk about senior living communities and how to choose them with our good friends from Ridge Care. All that's coming up, plus more. But first, we turn our attention to a big event that's coming up, and it's going to help support a great organization. We're going to talk about that as soon as we meet our guest. On my right is here as often as we can get him here, and we're glad he's here today. David Daggett is attorney with Daggett Shuler, of course, and in the middle between he and his partner Griff is Dr. McNeil Cronin. Makes his first appearance here on Triad Today. Hope it won't be his last. He's a board member and parent for the Piedmont Down Syndrome Support Network, and then of course Griff Shuler from Daggett Shuler. Welcome, gentlemen. Good to see you.
Thank you, Jim.
McNeil, I'm going to start with you. You said it's okay to call you McNeil.
Absolutely.
Is that right? Let me start with you, Doc. What is the support network all about? What's the mission?
So thanks for having us here. And the Piedmont Down Syndrome Support Network is a local organization that provides support and resources to individuals in our community with Down syndrome and their families. And the main mission is to help individuals with Down syndrome lead as happy and healthy lives as they possibly can.
And why are you so personally involved? Tell the folks.
So about 4.5 years ago, my wife and I had our first baby, a beautiful little girl named Quinn, who was born with Down syndrome. And we found out the day she was born, and that can be a shocking bit of news to receive. And the Piedmont Down Syndrome Support Network was there immediately with resources, with information. I still remember the packet that we got. And so that helped us to realize that things were going to be okay and that this was really going to be a blessing.
You and your wife, you're a smart guy. I mean, you feel like, well, I can conquer anything, I can deal with anything, but when something comes along, you need that support network, right?
It was priceless. And through the last 4.5 years, they've continued to be there for us. And so we have gotten more and more involved, my wife and I have, because we want to give that to other people in a time when they need it most.
Let's talk about the big event coming up. I'm going to turn to David on this one. I understand there is the big event for the support network. What is it, very quickly, and how are you involved?
Well, it's the 321 Deacon Dash for Down syndrome, and I'll let McNeil explain what 321 is.
Right.
That is March 25th at the Coliseum Fairgrounds property.
Right.
At 8 o'clock is a fun run, 8:30 is a 5K run.
Right.
And it's a great event. I'm a race announcer. I do quite a bit of races, as you know.
Yeah, you do.
And I have I've fallen in love with the Down Syndrome Support Network and have done a number of their events.
They just do a great job.
Well, and it's one of my favorite things to do all year.
Quickly, McNeil, tell us what the name 321 Deacon Dash is for.
Yeah, 321 has a significance to the Down syndrome community. What gives people Down syndrome is the 21st chromosome has 3 copies as opposed to 2. And that gives all the characteristics of people with Down syndrome. And so our race distance is technically 3.21 miles. Now, a 5K is 3.1.
Right.
And this will be an official 5K that's sanctioned by the Twin City Track Club, so you'll get your 3.1 mile
And if
time.
I'm not in great shape, I could walk, right?
You can walk. You can do the 1 mile fun run.
Griff, why are fundraising events and the support network, why is it so important?
Well, Jim, can I get a little philosophical? I think it has a lot to do with community. And just like in this situation, this was an important community for McNeil and his family. I think these opportunities allow folks to come together for a common cause, for a community, and then there's a ripple effect, and where you have one community going out and doing things, then other similar communities come together, they do similar things, and the bigger community of the Triad benefits. And I think this is very much in keeping with this whole area. Geographically, this whole area is a really giving, caring, bigger community.
Right,
and I think it's really a lot of it starts from the ripple effect from events like this.
Final word.
This event is probably about the most fun you'll ever have.
Yeah.
If you come out once, you'll come back again. I just talked with last year's female champion, former elite college runner, and she said this is the one event she won't miss.
And you pay, up
fantastic.
on screen, we have it Saturday, March 25th. Now, you pay a fee to run, though, right? And that's how you do the fundraising, is that right?
A small fee for running and for participation. You can give more if you'd like.
Okay.
And I want to thank, on Griff's point, the community is fantastic for people with special needs.
Well, we appreciate what you're doing. Up on screen, PDSSN.org for information there, and also DaggettShulerLaw.com. Gentlemen, thank you so much. David's going to stay over to sub for Ogie on the roundtable, so stay tuned for that. But Griff and McNeil, thanks so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Jim.
Back now on Triad today. Just about time for the well, it is time for the roundtable. I knew we were here for some reason, and with me now on my right, but we don't know where he stands politically, which is okay because he's sort of in the middle. David Daggett, that outstanding, famous attorney who you saw earlier on the show with his partner Griff, and a very distinguished physician that was here with us. So we had a good segment there. But thank you. I want to thank you for sitting in for Ogie, who's under the weather today. Thanks
Yes,
for doing
sir.
that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Don Martin, the distinguished politician, county commissioner, and professor at High Point University. Keith Grandberry, the distinguished or extinguished, we don't know whether it's one of those, who is a founder of Helping Hands Consultants, does a lot of work, philanthropic work worldwide. We welcome the panel. Guys, let's get to it. There's been a full-time physician attached to the White House since 1928. Now, Congressman Ted Lieu, a Democrat of California, is proposing a bill that would require a psychiatrist to be attached to the staff. Now, he did this as a slam to Trump, but he's serious. So taking the slam aside, is that a good idea to have a psychiatrist on duty at the White House? David?
Well, after the gymnastics of the last week, we might need a psychiatrist assigned to the press corps.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, I don't know whether it's a good idea or not. I think that the doctor assigned to the White House should be the quarterback of all medical
Do
aspects.
referrals
And if he thinks we need a psychiatrist, he should be the one to make that call.
Boy, Don.
I agree. Bring in extra help. And every president needs a mental health consultation. All of us could use it at times.
Keith?
I think you need a psychiatrist before they run for office. I mean, geez.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Not after he's in office. It's too late.
Yeah, speaking of elections and politics, people are still upset about this election. I don't care which way you voted, but there's a lot of protests, there's hurt feelings. A new Reuters poll came out, said that an increasing number of relationships have ended. Not just husband and wives, people at work not being friends anymore, people at the gym, people within their own family, because they talk politics, they get angry, and they start arguing. Guys, here's a question. You can sort of tailor it to your experiences. Keith's been, run a large organization before. David and Griff run a large organization. Don was a superintendent. Should we just not, until things cool down, no politics, no talking politics at work or school or whatever, Don? Dave, let's start with you.
I think civics is important. But what I also think is important is decency and respect in all of our communication and all of our conversations. And I think what we need to do is one at a time spread decency and respect while we're discussing civics. It's important to all of us. We should keep that discussion going, but with decency and respect.
But you and Griff help a lot of different clients who come from different backgrounds. I mean, so don't you have to be careful about talking politics in the office?
We will discuss politics with whoever wants to discuss it with us, and sometimes we have to respectfully disagree.
Right.
Or we have to encourage somebody on what their positions are, but doing it with decency and respect can be done.
That's the key. Don?
Well, I think it depends on your audience and who you're talking to. If it's a small group of folks in the office and you know them well and you know their values, you know your friends, you can lament and maybe let your hair down a little. But I think on the professional side, the answer is no. I don't think there's a place for it unless it is a direct impact on your business, your things, and that you have a position which is supported by facts.
Keith, you ran a large organization. What was your policy?
I mean, I allow people to talk. I think it's got to get away from the personal attacks. Mm-hmm. See, it's been personal. And I mean, politics, we're involved in politics and everything we do, but the personal attacks that people have now, they need to leave that alone.
I have no idea whether Don and I agree on everything or not, but I guarantee you we could talk about them.
Talk about, without getting mad at each
absolutely.
other. Speaking of Don, his alma mater, Duke University, has supported a workshop earlier this week on how to appropriately protest Donald Trump. Very quickly, guys, is that an appropriate thing for a university to do? David?
Appropriately protest, yes.
I agree. I think the issue on that is that I think we need to talk about the civility. We need to talk about protesting without tearing up stuff.
Okay,
Yes.
Keith.
I'm against people who are protesting now that didn't vote. That
Absolutely.
pisses me off.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, you protesting now, but you didn't get out there and vote. Now, you can protest some of the policies.
Right.
Why,
The white
why are we
millennials,
protesting
millennials that protested in Portland right after the election, they did a survey of them. 70% of them didn't vote. There you go. All right, a Pew Research poll says that 70% of respondents believe that you can only be a real American if you speak English as the primary language. Should English be the primary language for anyone who settles here quickly? David?
Well, unfortunately, my grandfather would have been excluded if that's the rule. I
Answer
said
no,
Bad rule
that should
done.
not be. No.
Bad rule done?
Bad rule.
Absolutely not. Dumb rule.
All right. Two football coaches from Army now admit they received stolen plays from a Wake Forest spy. The punishment consists of undergoing ethics training. Guys, is this just a PR punishment stunt, or do you think ethics training can actually change someone?
Definitely they need ethics training. I was shocked that that's the extent of the punishment when I read about it in the paper.
There might have been a little fine. I can't remember,
Well,
but that was
Yeah, about 20 grand paying for the ethics training.
The fine was paid by the institution, not by the individual.
Well, exactly. So, Don, what do you think?
Well, I
Ethics training.
think I was kind of interested in that because I followed this whole thing, but I think the actual employee got suspended without pay, and the money at which he would have been paid is paying for the daggone training.
Really?
I think, yeah. And I think if the institution is serious about the training takes.
But Keith, if you don't have ethics, can you be trained in it?
No, he can. If he doesn't have ethics, he's going to cheat one way or another. So I don't think.
Is that the same with diversity training?
I don't think ethics training, a 1 week ethics training, is going to change this person. I just don't believe that.
I was shocked that that's all the military.
I don't
academy
believe
did.
that.
Really? There's that's about almost all the time we have. Oh, I wanted to do this. There's a new craze in Great Britain, guys, I want to let you know about, and it's called exercising naked. This is a true story. Guys, have you ever exercised in the nude, David
I'll
Daggett?
quickly take the fifth.
You're not going to say whether you have or
Well,
not?
Don and I were talking when we were youngsters. You had to swim naked when you went to the YMCA.
Went to Y. That was yesterday.
So yes, I guess I have.
David and Don went to the Y yesterday, and they pulled off. No, Don.
do that yesterday.
Don, what?
Seems like yesterday.
do you?
Well, it depends on your definition of exercise. You get careful here.
Yeah, Keith, have you ever exercised in the nude?
I'm glad I wasn't around when these things started. It depends on.
Oh boy.
Oh, man.
It depends.
Well, that's all the time we have. Oh, except for this.
Can we cut?
No, that's. Speaking of exercising naked, last week police in Florida arrested a man for going through a car wash without any clothes on. Asked why he did it, the man said he just wanted to get his undercarriage clean. I'm not sure what that means, but can you explain that to me, Keith?
No, I cannot
We'll do that after the
explain
show.
it to you.
For all of us here at Triad today, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next time.